I'd like to thank everyone for their questions. I was worried that I actually came off a bit. The comment about 200 subscribers but nobody seems to comment, that wasn't meant to come out bad like it kind of sounded. Of course I appreciate all my subscribers, it kind of came out quite bad, I didn't mean to. But I had a great response from the questions. Please keep them coming in, any questions you'd like to ask, but I thought I'd start now because there seems to be enough. If I keep looking down, I'm looking at the computer. The reason I got my glasses on is because I'm reading the questions. So okay, first off we have the Koopy, which of course Koopy I do the show with, and he asks, what are your thoughts on Nolan saying that Joker will not be in the new Batman film? And who would you personally like to be the villain or villains in the next film? Okay, in terms of the Joker, I'm kind of happy that he's not going to be in there because I think, you know, depending, unless you cast it really well, and we spoke about this on our show actually, when you said, oh, maybe they'll just keep him in the dark and kind of dimly lit him and all that kind of stuff. But I think that eventually would come off quite cheesy, and I think that Nolan is the type that wouldn't do that because he always keeps things realistic, and I think even within the context of having a different actor in the Joker, playing the Joker, it just wouldn't work. And I think, you know, he went to jail in the last one, he was caught, so in any other circumstance, apart from wanting to see the Joker back again, you wouldn't expect him to be back. That is an ending for a villain. So I think it's fair enough he isn't in the next one. And I think this film will be stronger for it, as I think it would be too much of a distraction if he wasn't in it. Sorry, if he was in it. Okay, so who do I think should be the villain? The Riddler. I agree with what you said in the past about it could be too much like the Saw films, but I think, you know, if they do it right, I think the Riddler should be the next one. Riddler and Catwoman, possibly, if they did Catwoman well. A bit like they did her in Batman Year One. Maybe she could be a prostitute on the streets or something. Something like that, you know. Okay, Draco1760 asks, you've done a lot of favourite movies and games and such. How about your top 10 worst list? As he always finds bashing movies far more interesting. Well, I kind of agree with that. In general, I tend to do a lot more. I don't know what it is, but if there's a movie I don't like, I don't seem to be as eager to write a review of it. I don't know why. I like things that are kind of in between and have a bit of both. But I do have a worst top 10. I don't have a worst games list, but I do have a worst movies list. This is fairly up to date. I'm just reading it off another site. So this is my worst movies of all time. Oh, not all time, sorry. This is between the years of 2004 and 2000 and now, up till now. The reason it's 2004 is because on the other website, 2004 was the year I started doing most of my keeping notes of what movies I saw. Okay, so number 10 we have The Invention of Lying, very recently, Ricky Gervais movie. And number 9, Ricky Gervais was also in this one. And I like Ricky Gervais. And this is Night at the Museum is number 9. Sliver is number 8. Mr. Bean's Holiday is number 7. Cars is number 6. Yes, Cars, the Pixar movie. 5 is Street Kings, which was the Keanu Reeves, Forrest Whitaker movie from not too far back. Number 4 is Norbit. Number 3 is Sex Lives of the Potato Men. Number 2 is Epic Movie. And number 1 is Eon Flux. So thank you for that question. Okay, Stephen 131196 asks, are you excited about Inception, and what other movies are you looking forward to in 2010? Also, which is your favourite and least favourite director? Okay, yes, I am excited about Inception. It's one of the only movies I'm excited about for 2010, in fact. So that kind of answers your next question. Other films, Toy Story 3. I want to see what David Fincher does with The Social Network, the Facebook movie. If only because it just seems such an odd choice for David Fincher. I'm a David Fincher fan quite a lot. I love Seven. I love The Game, Panic, all his movies. So yeah, I'll be interested to see what he does, because it looks more like a comedy than anything. The fact Jesse Eisenberg is in it is appealing, because I like him as an actor. So I'm hoping for good things, but I'm just odd about the tone of movie it's going to be, considering Fincher's previous work. Next question. What was it? Oh, what's your favourite and least favourite director? Well, my favourite director is Wes Anderson. And my least favourite, I don't really have a least favourite. I could maybe give you an overrated. But I think that's a question that somebody else has asked. But least favourite, I don't really have a least favourite. I can't say. Because I don't really, by and large, I don't go by the director. I usually go by the actors in the films. So the directors are kind of not really an issue for me. I could say Michael Bay, but that's a bit of an easy way out. No, I don't have a least favourite. I could maybe say overrated. I think in some aspects maybe Christopher Nolan's slightly overrated, ever so slightly. But interesting with Nolan, I kind of changed with Nolan. I've grown to think that maybe Batman Begins is a better Batman film than The Dark Knight. I like Memento. That was good actually. Yeah, Prestige was good. Yeah, maybe I take that back. I don't know. I can't say what my least favourite director is. No, I don't. I'll get back to you on that. I do apologise. Okay. Ray and Pez asks, what gadgets do I own? It depends what you describe a gadget. I don't really own that many, to be fair. Is a Mac a gadget? I don't suppose it is it? No, I don't really own many gadgets. Really, nothing. One of those things that kind of it really doesn't do much apart from just being cool. I don't really own stuff like that, so I can't say particularly. I do apologise. What's your favourite band and singer? My favourite band are the Bare Naked Ladies, who are a Canadian band. They did that song One Week in the 90s. So yeah, they're my favourite band. Solo singer, I quite like Paul Weller. And other bands I like the White Stripes as well. They're one of my favourites. But solo singers I don't really listen to all that much. Amy Winehouse is alright. Okay. Okay. So he also asks your favourite actor, actress, and director. Actor. I don't know. Bill Murray. I think I'll go for Bill Murray or Jim Carrey for actor. Bill Murray or Jim Carrey. Favourite actress, Zooey Deschanel, who was in Yes Man and Almost Famous. She's not in Almost Famous that much. Eulogy, among other films. And director, Wes Anderson. Okay, Kersey Rules asks, question 1. Do you like A, a psychological horror, B, a comedy horror, or C, a splatter horror? Psychological, hands down. Yeah, psychological, hands down. I love the haunted house horrors. Kind of big creepy haunted house stuff. Movies I'd recommend in that genre would be The Orphanage or Al Orfanato. I believe it's a Spanish movie. Other ones would be obviously The Others, that's quite popular. The Innocents from the 1960s, but it was actually 1960 or 1961, I think. Basically, it's the film that basically inspired The Others. It's very similar to The Others. Devil's Backbone was okay. I'm not as big a fan of Devil's Backbone as most people, but yeah, definitely The Orphanage, The Others, and The Innocents are ones I'd recommend to check out for those kind of creepy, long corridor, creepy house movies that I really like. What's my least favourite director and my least favourite film? Again, I can't say least favourite director. I can give you overrated. Nolan, Scorsese to some extent. But least, I don't really have one. I do apologise. Maybe the guys that did that do those spoof movies. But that's a very vague generalisation. Least favourite what? Sorry, and least favourite film. What was that? Aeon Flux. What are your thoughts on Titanic? Initially garnering critical and audience praise, but now suffering from potentially needless and unnecessary backlash. Yeah, I actually agree here. I haven't seen it for a while, mind you, but I have got a need to see it because looking back, I don't think it is as bad as people say. I think people get caught up in the kind of... I think what it was back then, Leonardo DiCaprio was kind of seen in a bad light, and then he kind of reinvented himself. He was like the pretty boy who did romantic films, and then he reinvented himself with films like The Departed and Gangs of New York, basically Martin Scorsese. And he started a new career, and I think maybe if people go back and just look at it in a new light to where his career went and Less so Kate Winslet, I think, because she kind of kept doing the same things. She did interesting things like Little Children and all that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it was unfairly done, unfairly thing. And I haven't seen it for a while, but I'm actually excited to see that again. So I'll watch that again, and I'll get back to you on that one to give you more of an idea.